Hey guys, welcome back to the Tech Resume Review series, and this is episode 2. We have some applications down the line, and we're just gonna get started. So, as I did for episode 1, this is my resume, and this is gonna be an inspiration and as a source of reference for some of the things I'll be talking about later on in your resumes, right? So, it's 2 pages, maximum. For most of the time, you have to make sure your resume is like 1 page, maximum 2 pages. Of the experience, skills, education, publications, mentorship, and others. So let's get started now. This is the first application. So I blow out the private information, the name, address, phone, and email, to prevent people from just phishing you links and images. This is a lady, so this is her summary. Passionate computer science and engineering graduate with expertise in cloud computing, software engineering, and application support, currently transitioning into cybersecurity, proven experience as a CBS. In the morning, I was going over these resumes and I was trying to blow out the private information. When I read this CV, I was like, this is just rich with ambitions and passions. Like, she has done a lot, just some few minor things wrong with the CV which we are gonna come to. A lifelong learner with certifications in cloud technologies. For most of the time, honestly, you really do not have to include you are a passionate computer science and engineering graduate, for most of the time, unless you have to put something that is very specific to the job requirement, right? If you have go through the episode 1, you will see some of these errors there. But yeah, it's cool. Skill highlights: strong decision maker, problem solver, security software. So this is what I recommend you doing. If you come to my skill set, you actually you realize I categorize them into programming and tools, machine learning, research and data, other skills. So what you can do here is to divide your skills into technical skills, soft skills. So under soft skills, you can have the strong decision maker, you can have problem solver, right? And then on the technical skills, you can have all of these operating systems and Microsoft Office packages. Yeah, that will make it make way more sense. And then you do not have to start with strong decision maker, because these are essentially filler words. Basically, this is something that is not unique to anyone. Everyone can just put them on their CV. So maybe you can put them in the last list. Yeah, industrial work experience, attended workshops on leadership, communication skills, team building. So if you can mention the specific type, because most of the time recruiters want to be way more specific, right? They just don't want people to be putting generic stuff on their CV, like I attended this or participated in this. What actually have you attended? If you can mention, even if you have attended a lot of workshops, you can choose the most famous one, is widely known, attended this workshop and others on leadership and blah blah blah. Communication skills, team building, decision making. Second, so also your industrial work experience shouldn't be organized like a university course list. It has to be well arranged for each of these. For example, back to my CV here, this for MRC unit, the Gambia and the London school, you realize this is the heading for MRC, and then these are the bullet points for each of the stuffs I've done on MRC. The same for Obentas. So it should be well formatted, not just arranging it like a university course list. Course on computer and CCNA, basics concepts of networking. If these are courses you have taken rather than an industrial work experience, where you have to work and gain experience, then I would recommend adding this under the course section, classes and courses you have taken, right? Professional cloud security engineer, April 2025. complete. If you can put the location also, it will be very great. And the company. Complete the intermediate, implement cloud security fundamentals on Google Cloud Skill Bag to demonstrate skills in the following: creating and assigning roles with identity and access management. Yeah, so the thing wrong with the work experience is it is just arranged like a university course list schedule. Each of these sections have to have their own component. Like this should be a heading, professional cloud security engineer. Just like MRC is a heading here, and then down the heading you have all of the bullet points you have done as a professional cloud security engineer. Software intern, October 2024, cybersecurity certificate for service focused on the basics of cybersecurity technology. Yeah, the same thing I'm also talking about, like from the initial section. And one other thing also, you have to focus on how you describe this, right? So like you have to focus on the problem, your solution, and then the impact, right? So like the problem can be, let's say, malarial diseases in infants, and then your solution might be coming up with like a machine learning or deep learning approach to solve that, and then the impact can be like you improve the efficiency or reduce infection in that area, like let's say from 50% to 40%. These are just random generic terms, but you get the concept, right? Commonwealth Bank Introduction to Cybersecurity Job Simulation on 4 August 2024. Completed a job simulation involving, yeah, the same thing. Your CV is text heavy, you know, it's too much text heavy. Most of these can be summarized, and I'm seeing your CV is almost like 5 pages, which is unfortunately, I know you will be surprised to hear this, but like it's very rare for a recruiter to read all of these things unless they are very desperate for your services, right? So most of the time it has to be 1 page minimum, and then a max of 2 pages, you know, if you have too much stuff. Simulation focus. Yeah, all these are great. So the only thing you have to do is to format it well. You know, this formatting here is actually cool, right? And then you have to focus on how you frame your sentences. Like as I always say, the problem, your solution, and then the impact it has. Education, Islamic University of Technology, 2019 to 2023. I think this is awesome. Training and certifications, Hawaii Talent, Network Security. So yeah, this can be training, certifications, and courses like taken, right? So then you can add these two up here, like online course from Cisco, course on CompTIA and CCNA, right? You can add these here under the trainings and certifications. Programming languages. Now this should be with the skills on top. So like you gonna have the technical skills of programming languages, frameworks, tools, and then soft skills. So on programming languages you can add Python, HTML, CSS, PowerShell, and so on. Soft skills you can add whatsoever is up there. Languages: English, Wolof, French, Mandinka. Cool. Activities, societies, Red Cross, volunteer, Nusrat Senior Secondary School, IoT. So also it has to, for most of the time I would advise you to arrange it this way, like the most recent and the one that has the most impact to the one that has the least impact. Looking at this, I can tell, you know, probably Nusrat Senior Secondary School is the first, right? Because you were then in high school, and all of this IoT, women tech makers, women in STEM come later on. I mean, I might be wrong, but if this is the case, then you can start with women, like women tech makers, women STEM, and then come down to the list. References. So I also blow out the names, their contact, and emails. So for most of the time, like this is optional, but it's good to include it. And if you are gonna include it, the way I see people add it is this way, that they will put references and they'll be like available upon request. So you just have to like write a sentence available upon request. So yeah, this is cool. One other thing you might also consider, you might want to standardize this template, like rearrange this to be in a professional setting. So like this page here is more than an A4. So like it's gonna give you way more space to include, and then the font size is also small. It's gonna give you way more space to include a lot of the activities you have done, right, within few pages. If you wanna use this template, I'm gonna put the Google Docs link template on the description. You can just go ahead and edit the part and add yours. So yeah, we completed this. Now moving on to this guy here. I can't even remember the name. I blow out. Here is the name and this is the contact information. But yeah, this is one of the guy who has the most outstanding, like CVs. Like for real, his CV is just so awesome and fascinating. I think he's a guy in the US University of Houston, Bachelor of Business Administration in Management Information Systems. Expected graduation date May 2027. Yeah, senior me for like 2 years, and a CGPA of 4.0 and a GPA of 4.0. Yeah, this is awesome. Relevant coursework: system analysis and design, computer applications, database. Technical skills: programming languages, Python, SQL, Java, JavaScript, HTML. Yeah, this is so cool. Work experience: Price Waterhouse. One thing I really love about the CV is how he demonstrated what I was talking about earlier, like the problem, your solution, and then the impact. He analyzed 1,497 client users using Excel to discover 13 times retention differential, creating framework, improving effectiveness from 5.8% to 77.4%. And also one other thing I noticed, like literally every sentence here starts with a verb, like analyze, conduct, build, develop, create, which makes a lot of sense. This is a better way of summarizing it. Let's see if we have something to add on here. NASA business analyst intern. Projects. Engineer data integration pipeline. I mean, yeah, this is like 10 over 10. One page, everything is just straight to the point. So I don't have nothing to add on here. We're just gonna move on to the next one, right? So this is the next guy here. I also don't remember the name. He has a description: a second-year computer science student seeking to advance my knowledge and experience in software development. Okay, I aim to learn and gain practical skills in real-world software development to better equip myself and to solve more complex problems in the world. Okay, skills: HTML and CSS, Java, JavaScript tools, Windows, GitHub, photo editing. Okay, let's see what your niche is. Experience 2022 to 2023 at a local online television. Nema Nasir TV is the name of the online television. Okay, cool. Contributed to the growth and development of the Nema Nasir online platform. Was assigned as a mentor for new recruits. Okay, you can be way more descriptive. You contributed to the growth and development of the online platform. In what ways did you contribute to the growth and development of the online platform? Right? What are some of the ways you use? Mention those here. Freelance front-end developer. Develop front-end web applications using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Can you mention some of the web applications you develop? You can mention them here, and what are some of the ways you develop them. MDI student tutor students in math, ICT and programming logic and design, PLD. Okay, education. There are too much of gaps in your CV. You can try to reduce them. It will help you minimize the number of pages you will end up having overall. Expected graduation date of 2027, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, University of Civil Service. Okay, MDI at 3.50 GPA. You know, one thing I forgot to mention with this guy here is if you have, and like this is really awesome, if you have a honor roll that you achieve in school, you know, feel free to add it here. I mean, it just makes this way more fascinating. Now going back to this guy here, currently on the 3.5 GPA. Okay. Activities, extensive travel experience has allowed me to become fluent. You know, looking at this CV, I mean, like it seems like someone who is, I'm struggling to tell what your niche exactly is. What area are you focused on? Are you focused on television services? I mean, like, do you wanna be a journalist, like reporting or TV, or do you wanna be a tech nerd, like a programmer or whatsoever? Because everything, like your CV just have a little tidbits of everything. So this is what I always say: nobody wanna hire a generalist, everyone wants to hire a specialist, right? So like you have to tailor your CV to who you are as an individual, like to whatsoever you do. If you observe the cybersecurity lady from the beginning, you know, everything around what she does literally just revolves around her passions and what she wanna do as a career, right? Travel, extensive travel experience has allowed me to become fluent in languages, including English and Wolof. As an avid traveler, I have visited numerous countries and gained a better understanding. You know, I feel like this description would have been way more necessary if you are applying for a tourism or whatsoever traveling work or something like that. You know, for just letting them know you understand English and all of. I mean, you can just like add languages, English and all of, right? Sports. I have always been passionate about sports. You can just list the sports you play. It can be soccer, football, like basketball, whatsoever. Socializing, living in different countries and traveling. This is not necessary. This is not necessary here. They are not interested in your social life. They are not even interested in your gender or your race, right? Like any recruiter who is hiring is interested in what you can do to help them in your services. Learning, I am a quick learner and always eager. Yeah, this too not necessary. Personal project, so you can go ahead. I think this activity section, you know, you can replace this with extracurricular activities. If you have been doing any extracurricular activities, like when it comes to leadership, community involvement, volunteering, you know, when it comes to like literally anything you have been doing helping back to the society, you can add those stuff here. If you have been volunteering for the women tech makers, for the Google DevFest, for literally anything related to tech or what you want to do in future, you can add this here and remove the sports and socializing. Personal projects, a responsive personal portfolio using HTML and CSS. A digital club program using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, you could describe. I know, I understand you are in your second year, right? But you could describe this further. You know, how did you build it? Like, if even necessary, provide links to the GitHub. A temperature converter program using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. A stopwatch program using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I mean, yeah. A to-do list program. Okay, you have your GitHub here. Okay. So one thing I would say is first of all, try to see what niche you are interested in. Like, do you wanna entirely focus on programming or you want to focus on traveling, or you want to focus on being an online TV presenter. I mean, like, you have to tailor your CV to your job career in the future, right? Because ultimately you're gonna be applying to jobs or whatsoever you're gonna do, whether you're going to be applying for graduate programs. At the end of the day, your CV must be tailored to who you are as an individual. So that's what I would recommend, tailoring your CV to whatsoever you want to do in your future, and excluding anything that is not related to that. So this is the last one here. This guy, I was wondering why did he send this as an image. Like, he literally sent this as an image. I struggle to convert this to a PDF today morning. Okay, so let's see. He's a software engineer. I'm Solomon, a passionate and driving software engineer with hands-on experience in building full-stack web applications. I specialize in back-end development using Django, and MySQL. Okay, key strengths: full-stack web development, experience in building scalable. Let me see. Do you have any projects here in the first place? Okay. So, like, the rule is to show, don't tell. Instead of telling these people you are experienced in building scalable and maintainable applications, just show projects or work experience that demonstrate your proficiency in these things, right? No need to list all this. As you can see, like, I literally don't have nothing here like experience in machine learning or Python. You just have to list your job experience, and the recruiter who's reading this will obviously know, or the hiring manager will obviously know that this guy is good in this. Back-end development, skill in building robust server-side logic using Python and Django. Yeah, it's the same thing. You just have to make sure you show and don't tell. Education, Gambia certificate completed in 20. Okay, you're currently in 11th grade, a high school student expected. Wow, this is impressive. This is impressive. Skills: Python, JavaScript, Dutch. Yeah, this is impressive. No need to be strict on you. You're currently in high school, 11th grade, but then that also shouldn't be a compulsion to you that you're gonna relax back that I'm in high school. If you start grinding now, you literally have a very bright future. So just focus on doing what you're doing, building projects. One thing I would say is remove these key strengths, literally these descriptors. They make no sense, and try to include projects or relevant work experience you have. So yeah, these are the 4 we have, and by now I hope like the people whose resumes were reviewed in episode 1 have go through those and actually try to correct the errors on their CV. For the people whom I recommended to continue learning and giving some courses to do, like people who are in first year in the UTG or in high school, I hope you guys are still following that path. So yeah, any more questions on the Tech Resume Review series, and on this, drop it in the comment section below and I'm gonna reply it. See you guys in episode 3.